Greetings, Guardians of Dominion. Zeus here with another enlightening video. Today's topic is how to counter Lyria. If she's been slipping into your battles and making things messy, this is the video you've been waiting for. We'll break down her strengths, expose her weaknesses, and show you the smartest ways to turn the tide. Let's get started. How to counter Lyria is one of the most asked questions I receive, so today, I'll try to give you a clear answer. Let's start with the truth: Lyria doesn't have a direct counter. And there's a reason for that. First, look at her base stats. Her health sits around 1 million, that's tank level territory. Most tanks range from 1 to 1.2 million health, so in terms of survivability, she's up there. The main difference is in her defenses. Her armor is about 38,000, and her magic defense is 31,000. Compare that to most tanks who sit closer to 50,000 in both stats. Sure, there are exceptions like Aurora or Julius, they rely more on dodge, shields, or other mechanics, but generally, what makes a hero a tank is high defense. And while Lyria falls slightly short there's still a critical clue in her stats that gives us a direction: her magic defense is lower than her armor. That's where you begin to approach her, not through brute force, but with a strategy focused on magic. Now, it's important to understand that Lyria alone is not a major threat. Her damage output, unsupported, is modest, around 42,000 per hit, up to 3 hits normally, which totals roughly 120,000. At max potential with her ultimate, she can land 10 hits for 420,000 damage. That sounds like a lot, but in the big picture, 420k isn't enough to eliminate frontline enemies, especially not by herself. She only becomes dangerous when supported by heroes like Sebastian and Nebula. With them, her critical hits land more often, and her consistency jumps. But even then, in most meta teams, Lyria isn't the primary damage dealer. She's usually paired with heroes like Lara Croft, Keira, Ishmael, or Galahad, all high-impact warriors or marksmen. So here's the key point: when you're trying to counter Lyria, don't focus on Lyria herself, focus on countering the entire team she's built into. Now, if Lyria is placed in the tank position, that opens up a specific counterplay. In this case, the best response is to treat her like a tank. And when we want to deal with tanks, especially those with high health but slightly lower magic defense, the perfect hero to use is Iris. Iris exposes the soul of the front enemy and bypasses their defenses. I'll show this in my footage using Iris, along with support heroes that boost armor artifact stats to make the effect crystal clear. You don't have to copy my exact team, just make sure your frontline can survive hits from enemies like Lara Croft while Iris does her job. Now, let's talk about Lyria teams more broadly. One popular setup lately includes Lyria with Keira or Lara Croft. In these cases, the easy and effective counter is Helios. Why? Because when Sebastian is present, he boosts the critical hit chances of all three heroes, Lyria, Keira, and Lara Croft. And Helios punishes critical hits hard with his flaming retribution skill. But a word of caution: Helios alone often doesn't deal enough damage without magic penetration. That's why he needs backup. One good choice is Orion, who provides magic penetration. However, Orion can also backfire in some situations because his high damage output might charge up the enemy team's energy too quickly. A more controlled option is Augustus. When paired with Biscuit, Augustus can strip away Sebastian's shield. Then, as he converts magic damage to pure damage through his abilities, Helios damage also becomes pure, cutting through even high resistance enemies. This combo works especially well against physical damage dealers, who typically don't have strong magic defense. Looking at the most common team combinations with Lyria, whether she's paired with Lara Croft, Keira, or Ishmael, there's one thing they all have in common: their main source of damage comes from basic attacks. That's a crucial detail. And when basic attacks are the core threat, one of the most effective ways to counter them is with Alvanna. Alvanna, when placed as the tank and supported by Aiden, becomes a powerful defensive core. His skill under the forest canopy activates a runic barrier that protects all allies by absorbing 100% of the damage from basic attacks. And when Aiden is bonded to Alvanna, this barrier becomes even more effective. The two of them together can create the time and space your team needs to dismantle the enemy lineup. Of course, the other three heroes you use alongside Alvanna and Aiden will depend on your own roster, but they must be chosen carefully. You need heroes who can reliably eliminate threats while Alvanna is keeping the team alive. I personally recommend magic damage dealers here, since their skills tend to synergize better with Alvanna's overall kit. But physical teams can work too if built correctly. Another important trend I've noticed is that many Lyria teams rely on Axel as the patronage pet. Axel helps distribute incoming damage across the team and also charges energy faster, which can make Lyria and her allies more dangerous, more quickly. But this also opens up more ways to counter. When Axel is involved, your priority becomes disrupting the enemy's tempo before it builds. You can do this by using Helios with Biscuit, or Augustus with Biscuit. These setups are designed to drop Sebastian's shield quickly, which removes one of the key protections keeping Lyria's team safe. Once Sebastian's shield is gone, you can take control of the fight. That's where heroes like Arachne come in. With her stuns and crowd control, Arachne can shut down the enemy team long enough for your damage dealers to go to work. If you combine Arachne with another control-focused hero, you can keep Lyria's team locked down and vulnerable, giving you full control of the battlefield. So these are just a few of the strategies you can use to counter Lyria and her team. In the footage you're about to see, I'll show you some examples of team compositions that work, but remember, the goal here isn't to give you one fixed lineup. My real goal is to give you the logic behind these counters. Because every roster is different. Test things out. Use the heroes you already have. And apply the strategies and principles I've shared in this video. With the right thinking, you can turn even a tough battle against Lyria into a win. So, Guardians, we've seen that Lyria isn't a hero you can shut down with a single counter. She's durable, flexible, and becomes dangerous when paired with the right allies. But now you know how to approach her. If she's in the tank position, Iris is your go-to. If she's hiding behind a team of creep-based attackers like Keira or Lara Croft, bring out Helios with the right support. And when basic attacks are the main threat, Alvanna and Aiden can buy you the time you need to take control of the battle. What matters most is the logic behind these choices. Every player's roster is different, you might not have the exact teams I showed, and that's perfectly fine. The point is to understand why these strategies work so you can adapt them to your own heroes and playstyle. Let me know in the comments which counter strategy you're using, or if you've discovered a setup that works even better. I read every comment, and your feedback helps the whole community improve. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more Hero Wars strategies, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching, Guardians. Stay sharp, test boldly, and remember, even the toughest heroes can be taken down with the right plan. Salute and friendship.